full week on the grass? You pleased how it's gone?
Yeah, no, it's never really a problem when we're on the grass or anything like that. So, the lads have been good as gold all season, training, and they've been good as gold in games as well, to be fair to them.
At this point of the season, are you still bringing in new things, or is it now just polishing and making sure they're the best at what they can do?
Oh no, sometimes we bring some new things in, and it depends on how you're playing and what the tactic is in that game. So we'll work on certain things. So yeah, it depends on what the tactic is in that game, not the formation. Yeah. Formation tactics can't be confused. Formations are formations. Tactics, it might be the same tactic in a game, playing 4-3-3, playing 3-5-2. So yeah, just got to make sure they don't get muddled.
And I guess the odd set piece, new set piece, that sort of thing keeps them fresh as well.
We haven't done them today, but yeah, there's a couple of set plays that we've been working on. You just got to make sure you're honed with it, and by the way, that you get the moment with it in the game. So sometimes it'll depend on where the free kick is. Sometimes it might not be on. What you got to do is just stimulate their thinking that when they're in a certain area, is it on?
And the lads themselves, obviously, now you're sitting in this is like the crunch point, isn't it? You're basically in the run coming into the start of March. This is when it gets exciting for them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know when there hasn't been a crunch point. There's been a crunch point from day one. So, I think they've done really well. I think they've played under a lot of pressure all season. Because that's what happens. We came down with Sutton, and I know that Sutton are under the same thing as well. The team that comes down, you're under stress and duress right from the off. It's been predominantly hard for teams when they've come down. Certainly in that first year, anyway. But there was a lot of disruption, wasn't there? Really, in not just in last season from when I come in, but for a couple of seasons that it doesn't get straightened out all in 5 minutes. But I think we've done really, really well getting it to where we've got it to within a short period of time. When you look at it, 3 defeats over 33 games, that's some achievement. I know you could say, well, we haven't won more. Well, you look at the games that we've drawn, and you think there's 13 of those games that we've drawn. I went through those the other day and looked at them and thought there's definitely 6 that we deserve to win, and extra 12 points would have been really handy. But you can't pick and choose it. It's sport, and you have to accept disappointment, just like you accept the joyful moments you get in the game. It's what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, at the start of the season, you'd have taken 3rd place with 3 defeats at this point of the season, wouldn't you?
I might have took 3 defeats. I don't know if look, at the end of the day, it's my competitive nature. If you'd have said to me, would you take 2nd, I might not have done. Because I want to win. I want to win at everything I play, everything I do. I'm ultra competitive. So I don't quite know about that. I know where you're coming from, and I appreciate your kindness. But yeah, I don't know.
So what is it you've got to do then to just, I guess, get you back? Because I talked to you a few weeks back, and you said you felt you had almost like the devil in your eye again against Dagenham, and getting back that devil.
We did. It's funny, isn't it? Like you can have. I think what you have to understand sometimes is, and I have to understand it sometimes, is where are they mentally, the guys? I thought we did have that look in our eye against Dagenham, and I thought when we won that game, I thought, right, if we can maintain that, and it was on the back of like a disappointment. So we did have that look about us. Sometimes it's hard to maintain that. You never quite know in a dressing room full of young guys what's going on in their head, what's going on at home, and how are they. And that is part and parcel of a manager. That what you don't do is you don't take any of their potential problems or their issues to yourselves, to be honest. There's so much you have to, when you're a manager, you have to in these press conferences, you almost have to please everybody, and it's very difficult. But if you want to tell the truth, you won't please everybody, if you know what I mean. So my first thing is obviously to, look after the club, and I think I do that on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. I think the right culture is in the place now. I think there's a fantastic group of lads. Whilst I say to them that I don't always like them, but I love them. I always love them, but I don't always like them, and that might be because they've, I don't know, forgotten something or not done something that I know. I never ask any of them to do anything that they can't do. So yeah, it's a difficult one sometimes.
So is it now about just being a bit more clinical? Is that what they've just got to add to the game at the moment?
Well, it's funny, isn't it? We perhaps just had that conversation out on the pitch about, being a bit more clinical and, not being frightened to miss. Not that's the big thing for me. I've been there where I've missed chances, and at some point what happens is you can get a little bit angry and then throw caution to the wind, and you throw caution to the wind and you just find sometimes it ends up in the back of the net, being positive and being aggressive and being on your front foot, rather than thinking, if I'm going in on a cross or I'm going to have a shot that, I hope this goes in, or I hope I don't miss. And that's not just the strikers, but the strikers will suffer probably more with those thoughts than anybody else in the team. But we've got enough players this season that have scored enough goals in and around the team. Some other teams have only got their strikers that are scoring. So, I think that's maybe something that, if we can take our chances a little bit more, then for sure it'll make everything a lot easier for the guys, for sure, and for all of us. But what you have to do is you have to keep working on that, and that's what we do.
Sure. So you start a 3-game week, don't you? Which starts and ends with Maidenhead and York, which I guess it's quite useful. They played each other this week. Did you get a chance to watch that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you go, or did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you make of Maidenhead?
I think they were very, very unlucky to get beat.
Yeah.
Very, very unlucky. I was stood watching the game, and they put up 4 minutes for added on time, and 92 minutes I remember seeing the goalkeeper catch a ball, and he went down, and he was still led there on it. And I think by the time I'd got to my car, which was probably 100 feet away, I heard a cheer, and then I found out it was York. But that was really tough on Maidenhead. Credit to York, they keep going. They scored some late goals. We've done the same ourselves. So, but I thought, we're playing Maidenhead next, so that's what the conversation is. It's not, being disrespectful to York or anything like that. I like Adam. I think they've done a good job up there, York City. But I thought that was really tough on Maidenhead the other night, and I think Alan's done a brilliant job there. A brilliant job. I have a lot of time, a lot of respect for what they've done at Maidenhead.
And in the same time, there's excitement and buzz about trying to get promotion here. They're a side that are scrapping, and they're gonna make every game now as hard as possible, aren't they?
Well, we haven't come up against any team that makes games easy for us. I've watched some teams that we've played against, and I think that they've played really well against us, and I've watched them in other games, and they haven't performed to the levels that they did against us. So I know that, teams are going to raise their game against us, and we understand that. We're very, I suppose we're humbled by that they give us that respect, if you know what I mean. But they certainly haven't given us anyone's given us an easy time when 3 o'clock comes, or 7:45, or whatever time kickoff we're playing at. We certainly haven't had an easy game all season.
And they're still part time, aren't they? I mean,
yeah.
how do they do that? You know,
that's why I said I have. Well, I know how difficult it is doing it part time. It was only part time when I was at Cheltenham when we were doing it, so I know, and that's why I said I have great respect for them, and yeah, I mean, look, obviously we want to win the game at the weekend, but yeah, I think they've done great. Credit to them and credit to their players.
And for you, are you happy with the squad? If everybody fully fit?
Apart from the ones that have been injured, so like no Geordie, Teddy Jenks, they're still on the road back. So other than that, everybody's available.